So this is it, all kinds of overtones. I'm leaning on the back side of that bridge, and two things I want to point out. This is a ground surface, 100% flat, and this is the size of the radius. When I push down on that, this will guarantee 100% contact, 360 degrees. Here's the other thing I wanted to point out. What I was saying a minute ago, if we look closely at the back edge of this wing, you can see it's slightly thinner than the front edge. So what I've done is I've managed to kind of tilt that back ever so slightly, and this increases the tension at the focal point on the saddle and buys back years of string pull. And now we are ready to glue it back on the guitar. Well, you can see that we have quite a bit of roughage here to smooth out, and that's why I make up these sanding sticks. So there's a little slip of leather under there, and what that does is it gives me something very precise to sand with. It flexes and lays flat on the surface that I'm sanding. You don't want to use your finger to sand, or otherwise you'll dig a hole. So this way I sand just enough and not too much, and this prepares the surface for that bridge that we do right to that outside extremity. Boy, it becomes even more crucial when we've got like a collar on the top like this burst. And they get close to the edge, but you don't want to go past it. And that's obviously why I've taped off that footprint. Okay, let's try that bridge. Yeah, I'm definitely liking that. It's sitting on there good and solid without any bridge pins in it. You can see that there is a bit of gappage in here. The glue will fill that like it did previously when they first glued it on. So that's not going to be an issue. Good. No, that's good and solid. Happy with that. So now I'm just rolling that balloon into place, and that'll kind of hold those fasteners up as we get ready to spread the glue. That balloon underneath also prevents any drippage inside the guitar. So you do want that bridge to be able to shift ever so slightly, so you can kind of guide it into place. So I don't tighten these down quite yet. You can see I got a trusty piece of hockey puck to clear the braces inside. So these are those trusty scoop-up sticks that I sent out to you, Shane, in your threading kit, in your little care package. So we're going to start by just cleaning up the perimeter to make sure that we got that footprint right on the money. So now I'm just the same stick. I got 6 of these sticks made up. 3 I'm using for wet wiping. I can get right in tight to the glue line. And then the other 3 I use for final cleanup, dry wiping. Hopefully I'm not getting in the way of the camera here. You can kind of see what I'm doing. I'll bring you in for a closer look once I get the final clamping pressure on. Still using a wet cloth at this point. And so I make up 6 of these little scoop up sticks. Now I'm going around the perimeter again just to kind of catch any little bit of squeeze out that I see. Okay, now we can put a little bit more pressure on there. Not too much. It's not about the pressure, it's about the fit. We got the lion's share of that glue squeeze now, so I'm going over with my dry cloth. So any slight hazing that is here, because the guitar top is actually a bit grimy, I will go over the whole thing and it'll come right off with a liquid compound. So any smudging you see will all be gone. Just wanted to give you a good close look the back side of that bridge, and that is the type of intimate contact we're looking for on a reglue. Putting just a little bit extra heat on that as I go in for lunch. We'll let that set up, and then we got lots of work left on this one yet. Now we'll keep everything tucked away for the next bridge reglue. Well, the last time I did this job, my camera battery died on me, so I thought I would take a second and show you all this again. So I've got that maple block with the dovetail, and the male dovetail kind of slides into place. And this is the table from my arbor press, which is about 35 pounds. As you can see, that's straddled across the rails of the TechDecks body platform. And this acts as a backer block for driving in those upper frets, so that the soundboard never gets a hit on this very light, delicate vintage Martin guitar. So that's the reasoning behind this. Been doing this for years. So once those upper frets are in, then I will reattach the neck to the body and do all the sort of final finessing to get that neck to body angle perfect. Double checking the depth of slot before we go banging those frets in. So this is how I set up on the tech deck for the final check to make sure that all the 6 different angles are right. So I marked my center with vernier calipers on this end of the fingerboard, and then I've got my ruler lined up with that center. Now on this end, I pick up my center between the B string and the A string. And then at the 12th fret, we've got those double dots. So the straight edge is just skirting evenly past both of those dots. This tells me that the string trajectory from side to side is perfect. And you have heard me mention this before in other videos. I have my pilot frets, which in this case is the 10th and the 3rd, and that kind of spells out the neck to bridge trajectory. Just a couple more pulls and we'll check it again. Equal pulls on each side, because you don't want to throw off the string trajectory that we just discussed a second ago. Now when I slide that straight edge along, that's exactly where it should touch. Well, you can clearly see that that original bridge slot is not even close to where we need to be. I did put a saddle in there just to check it. The B string still needed to come back 19 cents. So we are going to fill, as we often do, because all of the geometry changes when you do something like this, a neck reset. It had to be done. There was no way around it. And we'll see where we end up. So a quick note for all of you latest TechDeck guys that have the bridge slotting jig or are thinking about getting a bridge slotting jig. This is how I set up. So I've got that strap that acts as a hoop around the lower bout, but the guitar is actually held by those two neck straps. There's the start of the cut, there's the end of the cut. So this plate is a duplicate of the Bosch Colt router. That centering pin, which you can see it's off center, and I do have this marked rear and front. The open part of the router I'm referring to as the rear, and the front is the leading edge as you make your cut. So I start in this direction. Of course you can cut in both directions, but you just got to make sure that you pay attention to the fact that that center is off center on the base. It's a little closer to this side than it is to this side. Okay, we're ready to make the cut. Well, as you saw, we had to fill and re-slot this bridge in order to get the guitar to intonate. On the bass side, we moved back 5 mil, and on the treble side, we moved back 3 mil to get that to line up. It is now perfectly in tune, and you'll hear it shortly. As you can see, we've got a beautiful fit on that bridge. And this is our compensated nut, just standard, regular light, 12 to 53 at concert pitch. And of course, these guitars are a little trickier because they are non-adjustable, so you got to plan for just enough relief in that neck when the whole job is done with the 12 to 53 at concert pitch for that neck to flex just enough. And this is the treble side fit on the neck reset for the fingerboard and for the heel. And this is the neck reset fit of the heel and fingerboard to soundboard surface on the bass side. So in order to get this to line up nice and straight once it was all done, just measuring that final thickness is 162 at the neck to body junction, and it's 181 at the top. There was obviously a lot more taken off here and nothing touched at the end, taking into account that it's a non-adjustable truss rod, and I make that undercut at the top of the dovetail in order to get that beautiful glue joint on the complete fingerboard extension.